Well, here we are. It's escalated a little bit inside here. Well, happy Easter to everyone as well. It's Easter Saturday here. So why am I in the interior? Well, I've probably put up one of those clickbaity titles that says I messed up or something like that. And I don't know if you can spot, but in this picture now is a clue as to how I've screwed up reasonably badly. Nothing that we can't fix, but I did mess up. Now it's to do with what we were doing underneath the car, which was to jack up the car without using the jacking points, because I wanted to freshen up those jacking points, rub them back and repaint them. And unfortunately the area underneath the car that I chose was, yes, schoolboy error, an area that was actually part of the floor pan. Now I did mention in previous videos that I'm just an idiot with a bit of time on my hands, so this is conclusive evidence for you. You can see that unfortunately I chose to jack the floor pan right here. I thought there might be some structure coming from this back sort of straight piece, and so I put a jack here. Now I can't believe how stupid I've been. So you know, if I put this video in if I put this clip in the video, you know, it means I'm happy to be called an idiot, whatever. So if you're watching any of these videos, always think for yourself. Don't think, oh, he's done it, that's how I'll do it, because I am a bit of an idiot, which is fairly obvious from what I've managed to do here. Now, fair enough, I did the same thing over here on this side, and I've managed to knock it all back down. We'll have a quick look at that whilst we're here. So here's the area that you can see is affected. And what it did, it was it split this lower floor from the back. And now I've also noticed that there was already rust in that gap. So I think I'm not the first person who's done this. I think it had already been split slightly. So although I've hammered it back in, I'm gonna try and prise it back down so I can deal with that rust. I was just panicking a bit. I wanted to get it back in shape, but I did see that it was already rust under there. So I'm gonna have to try and, I don't know, somehow deal with that. I might have to split it back and try and rub out any rust that's under there. But if we look at the other side of the car again, you can see the mess that I managed to make here. Now you're thinking, well, surely when you lowered it down onto that jack you would have noticed. Well, no, it didn't budge. And this has just happened over time, I think, perhaps with the warmth or something, I don't know. But yeah, it didn't budge when I lowered it onto the jack, but now it has, so I'm an idiot, fair enough. So now we're jacking back onto the correct jacking points, or at least that's where I had to jack it up on the trolley, and now lowered it back. So it is secure now, but yeah, I made a mistake. I screwed up. But who are we if we don't make mistakes? Well, if you don't make a mistake, you don't make anything. So I made a mistake, I'm going to sort it out, and yeah, boo-booed big time. But there we go, that's part of experience, isn't it? That's how we learn. So yeah, I'm an idiot, and don't do as I do, just watch this for entertainment value, perhaps. But yeah, so there we go. Now one of the questions raised by this car is what am I going to do with it. Now I cleared out the interior to get to these parts once I'd screwed up. The question is, can I be bothered to start putting the interior back in? So have I made up my own mind about whether this is going to be a track car or a daily driver? Who knows, but this is causing me to think what's going to be a good outcome for this car. You can see that there's various bits of mould already down here, which again, especially in this area, points me to the fact that this was getting wet already. That side was alright. So again, I think this has already been done. So it's kind of silver lining that I've spotted this issue, because now I can try and deal with it properly. But yeah, is it going to be a daily, is it going to be a track car? Perhaps you can add your suggestion in the comments to help me decide. Okay, so what I've done is rub back the existing seam sealant from this area. Brilliant that we can see the inside of the car. I've knocked it back from the inside. Now before I knock it back and close this up, I'm going to use some Tiger Seal, my new favourite thing. Square it in between the gap, knock it back in, and then that should squeeze any of the sealant into the fine cracks and hopefully provide a waterproof seal, and then seam sealer over it again. So yeah, boo-booed, but hopefully we can get this right, and then we'll go ahead and do the other side as well. Obviously it wasn't ever welded on, I think it was actually glued in to place. There must be some welds at some point along here, but they weren't obviously welded in these areas. So a bit of seam seal, sorry, a bit of Tiger Seal, a bit of seam seal. We'll see how we get on. Alright, so I've hammered it back in place with the Tiger Seal injected. There was another little area that I spotted to the right as well that had come away. I don't know whether that was me or before, but anyway, I dealt with that as well in the same way. So you can see how good the seal is. I've just wiped it with some wet wipes to really push the sealant into the crack, as well as wipe off the excess. And if we have a look inside the vehicle, so we've closed up the gap quite nice, if you can see that. And I will bet my house that will not leak ever again. It's a nice closed gap, sealed up. So, breathe a sigh of relief. Just need to go and have a look at the other side now and do the same, but you don't need to see that on video. Just the same principle. So yeah, all good fun. Messing about. Right, you remember this thing? This great, I don't know if the sun's good or not. This great gaping hole underneath the rear light. So I've asked a guy on Facebook who splits the cars, and he's hopefully going to cut me out a section from one of his shells, send me that ready for welding. And now that we know we've got a few welding jobs, might as well get this cut out and put a new section in and do it as nice as best we can. So that's the plan for that too. What's good is about getting rid of this interior for the moment is that I can deal with one issue that I wanted to sort out, which is this gear stick. That's been, obviously this car's done quite a few miles now, and there's a fair bit of slop in the gear, so that's in neutral, fair enough. And if we sort it into first, you can see just how much slop we've got there in first gear. And second, blah blah blah. So there is a part I can get which replaces like a sleeve in here, which the ball sits in. So to do that I need to get out all this assembly. I haven't actually got the bits yet, so that'll be a job down the line basically. But yeah, there are parts available. We may even go for a short shift there. We may even go for some riser bolts to get this a bit higher, should we be going the track route. But yeah, so it's good to be able to get in here. You can see it's a bit of a mess at the moment. We'll try and sort that out and see where we go. Alright, nice hoover out there and a bit of a face reveal for you. Get that out of the way. Looking nice in here after a little bit of a hoover. I do want to sort out all these areas of mould, get some wet wipes or whatever, antiseptic, antibacterial wipes on them, give them a clean out. But yeah, fun day, right? Who'd have thought we'd end up doing this all day long? So this is looking good. The seal is getting stronger, and then we can give this a paint over, a little bit of a rub back and paint that over again. Should be good. Alright, here we are today putting this filler neck insert in. So I've used the Tiger Seal bond to get this stuck in nice and strong, and I've tried to get a seal all the way around underneath it with the Tiger Seal, and a good way to do that is to use some wet wipes to wipe off the excess. So I found that works really well. And it says it's over paintable, this seal, so once it's cured I'll give it a bit of a splash of paint again over that seal, and we'll see how it looks. But yeah, should be nice and strong. You can see how well it's pushed the seal through this side, so it's going to form a nice strong adhesive bond there and should be good.